Do you think that if somebody earns $100,000 a month, they are rich? If at the end of the month he has no money at all or even in debt, well, it turns out that this person is not so rich. It doesn't matter how much you earn, $10,000 a month, $100,000 or even $1 million. If you don't know how to manage your money, you won't be rich. How many millionaires spend absolutely all their money and then still get loans for expensive things? You think I'm kidding? Have you heard about MC Hammer? Hammer made over $30 million on his songs in 1991. But 5 years later, MC Hammer declared bankruptcy. Tens of millions of dollars turned into millions of dollars in debt. I don't think you want to repeat his story. That's why in this video, I'm going to tell you how properly manage your budget. Whether you have $1,000 or $1 million, you need to know how to manage your money correctly. Be sure to like and subscribe. And here we go! One of the typical mistakes when starting a budget is trying to get rich into a variety of financial strategies. However, before jumping into such important steps, you need to understand your current situation. Therefore, the first step in managing your personal finances is to figure out how much income you have. This is essential in order to have a clear idea of your options and understand what funds are in your control. Next, you need to calculate the amount needed to cover basic needs such as paying for rent, food, and other necessary expenses. These categories form the basis of your budget, and without taking them into account, it is impossible to manage your funds effectively. To simplify the task, it is recommended to create a basic table in which you should enter all income and your expenses. This will allow you to see the big picture and help you determine how much money is left over for other needs. Or you can write out all income and expenses in special apps. We've talked about them in our previous videos, so go ahead and take a look at them. When the main expenses are taken into account, it is time to plan how to manage the remaining funds. This decision requires a realized approach because you can either spend your money on entertainment or put it aside for the future. It is important to think ahead of time about what purchases or pleasures will bring you more joy and benefit you in the long run. This decision ultimately depends on your goals and priorities, but it's important to remember that managing your finances wisely is the key to financial stability and confidence in the future. Planning allows you to control your spending and avoid situations where you don't have enough money for the essentials at the end of the month. In order to manage your finances effectively, you should always separate your spending into necessary and emotional expenses. This is an essential principle that helps you to avoid unnecessary spending and plan your budget better. But I think you agree that it's not that easy to do it, because the temptation to make an impulsive purchases exists for everyone. For instance, you may face a tempting offer to buy goods at a discount or suddenly decide to go to a cafe with your friend. Such decisions are often made under the influence of emotions and can lead to overspending. That is why it is important to plan your spending in advance and clearly identify necessary and secondary expenses. So, how to organize the budget correctly? Now, there are many options of budgeting, but I will tell you about the most popular one. This is a 50-30-20 system. This approach helps you to correctly distribute your income. According to this system, 50% of your income should be allocated to mandatory expenses. These are categories that cannot be ignored, such as rent, paying bills, buying groceries, and so on. 30% can be used to the emotional needs, such as entertainment, shopping, going to cafe and restaurants. And finally, 20% of your income is recommended to be put aside for savings or used to cover your debts if you have any. With such plan, you can maintain a balance between needs and pleasures without forgetting about the future. Another important aspect of financial planning is to create a so-called financial cushion. A financial safety cushion is like a reserve fund created for life unexpected situations. Everyone should have a financial cushion, as no one protected from any kind of emergencies. A financial cushion will be very useful if you are unexpectedly fired from your job or temporarily unavailable to work for any reason. This fund allows you to maintain your usual standard of living, giving you the necessary time to find a new source of income. Having a cash reserve for several months greatly simplifies life and gives a sense of financial security. The optimal size of such a cushion is from 3 to 6 months. This is the amount that will allow you to feel confident even in case of job loss or other financial difficulties. So, just multiply the amount you spend per month by 6, and this will be your financial cushion for a half a year. If you have already saved a necessary amount, it would be a good idea to protect this money from inflation. In previous videos, we already explained how to do this. But what to do in case if you have any debts or loans? It is necessary to approach their spread and repayment in the right way to avoid unnecessary stress and financial losses. Start by analyzing your finances and clearly understanding your obligations. Do not just move different amounts to pay off your debts in an uncertain time frame, hoping that things will improve over time. Instead, move in a mindful and planned way. The first step is to collect full information about all your debts. Carefully review each of your obligations, including loans, credit card debts, and other financial situations. Write down the amount of each your debt, interest rate, and repayment terms. Once you have all the information you need, proceed to create a debt repayment plan. Based on your findings, determine which debt you should start repaying. It usually makes sense to start with the debts with the highest interest rates. Paying off these loans will allow you to save a lot of money in interest and get out of debt way faster. If you get a chance, try to make extra payments on your debts above the minimum monthly limit. This will help to speed up the repayment process and reduce the total amount. Even a little extra money can make a big difference in the speed of getting out of your debt. We've talked about budget vision, financial caution, and debt. To end, I want to give you 5 important tips for effectively managing your budget and reaching your financial goals. First, before you make a major purchase, give yourself a time to think about it. If you like an item in the store, don't rush to buy it right away. Come back to this issue in a few days and decide if you still need this purchase. This approach will allow you to avoid any impulse purchases, which are often based on the temporary desire rather than on a real need. This will help reduce the emotional cost and make your purchases more considerate. Second, make a shopping list before you go to the store. This will help you to avoid overspending and not buying unnecessary items. It's also important to eat before going grocery shopping, as a hungry person is more likely to make impulsive purchases. If you make a list in advance and follow it, it will help you to keep from spontaneous purchases and save your money. Third, spend less than you earn. Seems simple and straightforward, but for some reasons many people still don't follow this rule. Even if your salary seems significant, you may still be spending more than you earn. Review your expenses and try to reduce them. You may be surprised to find out how much money is spent on things that aren't that necessary. Try to identify and reduce unnecessary expenses. This will help to improve your financial situation and release funds for more meaningful goals. Fourth, set financial goals. Saving without a specific goal can be less motivating. Setting clear and attainable financial target helps you to focus on achieving what you really want. As an example, perhaps you dream of a new car, a trip around the world, or even just buying a new laptop. Having a specific goal will not only make the process of saving more fun, but it will also help you better manage your finances by directing them towards your dreams. And finally, one last thing. Avoid loans unless it's a very critical situation. Loans can be expensive, and advertisement often promises tempting terms such as get in today, pay tomorrow. However, there is often a second side of the story: high interest rates and difficulties in repaying the loans. Use credits only as a last resort and try to live without them. Try to plan your finances in the way that minimizes the need of loans and gives you better control over your money. These tips will help you manage your budget more effectively, reduce unnecessary spending, and move towards your financial goal with more confidence and peace of mind. We have even more videos about cryptocurrency, finance, and earning on our channel, so go ahead and take a look at it. I hope you found it useful, and thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. The Token team has been with you, and we'll see you in the next video. Together to the top!